Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Jake from today'siphone.com, and here's your TIP Daily for March 14th, 2013. Okay, so let's start off the day with yet another low-cost iPhone rumor. Now, a new analyst, Walter Piecyk, has hit the scene saying that Apple would be stupid not to release a low-cost iPhone this year, because according to Basic Logic, he claims that Apple could sell as many as 36 million low-cost iPhones in the year 2014, resulting in about $11 billion of revenue. The reason he and every other analyst in the world is suggesting that Apple should and will release a low-cost iPhone is that there are tons of emerging markets around the world where cell phones are not subsidized by carriers, and the majority of people who have cell phones go through the prepaid method where they pay full price for the phone, and then the contract and data and stuff is worked out separately. The iPhone really doesn't have a presence in these types of markets just because unsubsidized the iPhone is so expensive. But according to this guy, if Apple was to release a low-cost iPhone in markets like Asia or Brazil or other emerging markets, it would be a huge success. Okay, moving on. If you are itching to get a 4th generation iPad or an iPad mini but don't have quite enough money to purchase one, you'll be happy to know that Apple has started selling almost new refurbished devices of both of these iPad models in its online store. Now, you should keep in mind that supply is very, very limited. You're not going to get every option available. You know, there could be a 32 gigabyte white iPad mini with Wi-Fi and cellular, and then a 16 gigabyte black iPad mini with just Wi-Fi, and that's it. So you really have to check back over and over again to see if you can get the models that you want. That being said, there are some pretty good discounts, about $30 to $40 off the iPad mini and up to $50 off of the 4th generation full-size iPad. And even though the device is refurbished, which means it's not new, Apple will still replace the battery and the back cover so it'll run properly and there won't be too many cosmetic damages with it. If you're interested, you can head over to the Apple Store now or check out the link in the description down below and see what they have. Okay, and finally, news has hit the web that in September of 2011, Apple filed a patent for a very interesting method of wirelessly charging an iPad. Now, there are a ton of wireless or inductive charging methods currently on the market for iOS devices, but they all involve some really weird sort of like power mat that you have to place your device on while it's in this super bulky, unattractive case in order to transfer the power from the mat to the device. Obviously, this is not Apple style. It's not sleek, it doesn't look good, and it's really not as efficient as it could be. Now, Apple's method, if it ever came to fruition, is a lot more simple for the user and a lot cooler. Basically, Apple would implement a battery cell into the iPad smart cover, adding no bulk or extra, weight or heaviness or anything to the accessory and to the device itself. Obviously, you would have to charge up the smart cover just so it would have power in there, but once you do, this thing could automatically charge your iPad wirelessly whenever it's in sleep mode, but only when it needs the power. So that means the iPad would know when it doesn't need to take power from the smart cover, and it would stop accepting the power that's stored in the smart cover, so that would preserve the battery for when you do need it. Now, this is a very, very cool concept. Like I said, it was filed for in 2011, which could mean a couple of things. Either Apple's, sort of abandoned the idea, the company is waiting for the technology to develop, or it's been working in secret on it for years and it should be released sometime soon. Obviously, the third option would be the best for us, but it seems pretty unlikely. Either way, though, it's promising to know that Apple is looking into wireless or inductive charging just because it seems like that is the way of the future. And, Apple doesn't really like wires, buttons, that kind of thing. So a wireless charging solution definitely seems like the kind of thing Apple would eventually want to do with all of its devices. Okay, well, that's all the big news for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Your question of the day today is, would you ever buy a refurbished device? Apple inspects it and replaces the things that need to be replaced before selling it to you for a discount. But there is sort of that stigma about buying a device that isn't new. Do you think getting the $50 or $40 discount is worth buying a device that isn't new? Or do you prefer to shell out the extra cash and get a brand new device? You can let me know in the comments section down below or on Twitter at TIP_Jake. Please don't forget the links to everything I talked about in this video in the description down below, so definitely check those out. And as always, for more news, views, and reviews, don't forget to hit up today'siphone.com.